Hey there, welcome back. Today is finally time for the graphics card. Let's unbox it real quick and see what's inside. Alright, so we can see it's nicely packaged. The way the graphics card doesn't get damaged from shipping. It's well protected, good for this seller, and let's see what we got here. And we're looking at a Sapphire Radeon RX 6700 XT 12 gigabytes, and it was sold on eBay because it's not powering on. So let's see. Let's do a visual inspection. See if we can find anything from here. On the back, right, doesn't look that bad. Now let's take a few measurements on the connector, and then on this side see if we got any shorts. Right, put the multimeter on this side. Right, you can see there. Right, now you can see a little bit better. Now, first impression, the card is a little bit dusty, and I wonder what's the condition of the thermal paste. Now, one of my biggest fears when buying graphics cards from eBay is that they will arrive without the core and the memory RAMs, as that is a common scam nowadays when they remove the core and the RAMs. That's one of my biggest fears. Hopefully this is not the case. I don't think this is the case. I can see the core from here, and what I guess are the memory modules. But let's take a few measurements from this side, see if we got any shorts. First, I'm gonna find a ground, put the multimeter in continuity mode. There we go, and find a ground. I think this is going to be a good spot. And let's see, the fourth pin should be ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got ground there. Now the first three are 12 volts. They're connected together. No short so far. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 is ground. Next one is clock, data, and next is another ground. Then we got 3.3 volts. No shorts there. No shorts on 3.3. We got another pin. I'm not sure what that one's for. Then we got 3.3 auxiliary and a wake pin. I'm not really sure what's that for. This is the first time I'm gonna be repairing a graphics card, but so far we don't have shorts. Let's see. On this side we can find data. This is ground. We can find some data. We shouldn't have shorts on this side too, which we don't have. Those pins that I'm touching, those are ground. Let's go to this side, and the first one, it says present. I think that is a signal. No shorts. The other one at 12 volts. no short on 12 volts. Next, C1, 2 12 volts, 3 ground, and then there are some signals, and we should have 3.3 somewhere here. The last two. Now these two should be 3.3, there's no shorts, and the other one is a signal pin, and next is ground. Right, and on the back we have some data lines which shouldn't have shorts. This one is ground. Let's see, 1, 2, and a ground pin. So far randomly measuring data lines, there are no shorts. Alright, so far I cannot see anything wrong. Let's now test this connector. Alright, I'm gonna switch the multimeter to diode mode, that way we don't have that beep every time I test a pin. So from this connector, the ones at the bottom are ground, excepting for this one, that is the sense pin. Let's see. So you can see that's ground, the sense pin is OL, that's okay. Ground and ground. Now all the ones on top, excepting for this one, are 12 volts. Let's see. It looks fine. They are connected together, so they're gonna measure the same. That's fine. And we got another sense pin right here. Alright. And for this connector is basically the same. We have ground, probably a sense pin, and another ground. Then on top we got 12 volts. Oh well, that's fine. Probably a sense pin, and well, I think that one is 12 volts. Yeah, those three on the top are 12 volts. Alright, so far no problems, no shorts. I think, I don't know what the next step is gonna be. I think I'm gonna take it apart and see what the condition of the board is before I plug it into my into the motherboard. Looks like we have all the memory chips and the core, so that's fine. That's good for now. Let's see what else are we missing. Let me take this connector, we unplug this connector. Right, connector is off, and the thermal paste, as you can see, is dry. And right off, I see something. I don't know if that's from factory, but I think we're missing an IC right here. I have to take a closer look under the microscope. Hopefully it's not, but we have to see. Now let me give this a clean because it's really dusty. While doing a visual inspection, I found this area with water damage and a component that looked like a capacitor, and it had continuity when I tested it. But I found out later that it was an inductor, and the worst part is that I removed it and ended up losing it. Then I tried to remove as much of the corrosion as possible off the board, and at the end cleaned it with IPA. After struggling a few days with this car, I finally was able to figure something out, and I'm gonna show you what in this line. If we see here, we have this resistor. There's this side of the resistor carries a 3.3 volts, and on the other side is the enabled voltage for the 1.8 power rail. Let's see, where is the IC? It's that one right here. This is a 1.8 power rail, and this IC need that enabled voltage to turn on this 1.8 power rail. So the problem was that on this side I had 3.3 volts, but on this side I had 0 volts. Now it could be many things. The resistor was bad, it wasn't the case, and if we look on this side, those components are not included, are not populated on the board. If we look, it goes to these transistors. Let me see. Well, it goes through a 0 ohm resistor, which is this one, and then it goes to those transistors right here, to this dual MOSFET. And if you can see, it goes through the gate. So what was happening is that this dual MOSFET was pulling that voltage to ground. As soon as I removed this IC, the 3.3 volt made it to the other side of the resistor. Now, why I struggle with this voltage, with this line, let's go back to this resistor, is that this line, the 1.8 volt enable, I thought it was it has to be 1.8 volts, and that's the name of the line, 1.8 enable. But in reality, that voltage is 3.3 volts. So that's why I struggle the most with this line, because I thought it has to be 1.8, and that got me scratching my head and wasting a lot of time. So I'm gonna show you now under the microscope that we have the 1.8 power rail. Let me see. Let me switch to the microscope. All right. Let me power on the card. All right. If we look at the resistor, I even replaced the resistor because I didn't want to take the chance that the resistor was bad and doing more troubleshooting. So if we look on this side, we got 3.3, and on the other side we have 3.3 as well. And if we go to the 1.8 buck converter, this power supply, if we look at the output at the coil, we have 1.8. So everything is working now. Now I don't know if I show you previously the voltages, but obviously this card has 12 volts. I think right here is 3.3. We got 5 volts as well. Let me see where I can show you 5 volts. Let me look. I think on this regulator should have 5 volts. Let's see. No. And there is the 5 volts. So we got all those voltages. We were missing this voltage previously, 0.75, but if you can see, we got 0.75. I'm gonna do some more troubleshooting, some more research, and see what's next on the power sequence. And obviously I have to replace that dual MOSFET, as it is important to generate some signals and voltages. So I'm gonna wait till it arrives and replace it and see if this car powers on. think that finally the car is fixed. I tried power it on and the car gets really hot. We only need to see if we get a picture when we power it on. So I'm gonna use this temporary heatsink and we're gonna look on the screen if we get a picture, and there we have it. You can see the HDMI is connected to the graphics card. I can't leave it on for too long because I'm only using this heatsink. So yeah, for the most part the car is fixed. I'm gonna put it back together to run some proper tests and show you what was happening with this car. So I'll show you what was wrong with this car. So if you see this IC right here, it's a 6-pin dual transistor. So, and I thought there was a dual MOSFET because of this letter right here, that for me it was the gate. So these two pins, if you see the number 6 and number 3, I thought those two pins were the gate. I said if the voltage is going to the gate, the only explanation that voltage is being dropped is that the transistor is bad. So that's what I thought it was. But in reality, it's not a MOSFET, it's a dual transistor. And those two pins were not the gate or the base in case of a transistor. So I'm gonna show you in this schematic what was going wrong. So here we see, and I'm gonna focus only on this transistor. Here we see the Q1000B. So B is the reference for the second transistor, but there's two transistors in one package. And I'm gonna focus on this one. So if you saw on the board view, the pin 3 is where that voltage is going. This is the pin that I want to focus, because if you see, the 3.3 comes from this side and it goes to ground. So the only explanation this voltage is going to ground is if we have a voltage on the base. So what needs to happen for that voltage on the base to disappear? And I measured on the board and I had 0.6 on the base. So what needs to happen? Well, first we need this transistor to conduct, which I measured, and I had voltage on the base. This one was good. So this was the Q21A, which I'm gonna show you on the board view later, and this is the Q21B. So let's see where the pin of the Q21B goes. It goes through here, and it goes to the connector, to one of the ground pins on the PCI Express connector. Here we have a clear view of the 3 transistors. So for the voltage on the base to disappear from this transistor, we should have first this one to conduct from pin 6 to pin 1, which was conducting. This side of the transistor was good. We had voltage on the base and it was conducting from this pin to this one. But the problem was on the second transistor on the same package, Q21A and Q21B. They're on the same package. So I had a voltage on the base, it's an NPN transistor, and I had a voltage on the base, but I was still having voltage here. And when that should be conducting to ground to the pin 4, which go to the PCIe connector. So that was the problem right here, that this one wasn't conducting to ground, and because of that I had a voltage on the base that was pulling the 3.3 voltage to ground, and that was the problem with this board. Let's go back to the board view. Let me see right here. So the problem wasn't this transistor, it was this one. When I replaced this one, everything worked. Right, so now it's time to run some stress tests in this car, and I'm gonna start with the Heaven benchmark. So if I hit run, we can see that it takes a little while for the test to start, as you can see in this picture, and at the end I ended up getting this error, which at this point indicates a software issue, probably the drivers. So after checking the drivers, to my surprise, they were 20 years old. I went ahead and updated the drivers, and now it's time to run the test one more time. So I hit run, and obviously I'm not gonna show you the entire test because that's gonna take quite a while. I just resumed a few scenes so you can see that the test run entirely. I ended up getting this score, which is honestly not the best, but it was time to run in FuelMark. So if we can see in FuelMark, see what the temperatures, and we can see that the hotspot is getting too high. It's going over 100 degrees and it went all the way to 110. And if we see the RPMs on the fan, it is only running at 49%. I tried adjusting the fan settings on the AMD software, but ended up getting the same result, which I think now it has to do with the coil I removed before, and I ended up replacing it with a resistor, but obviously we cannot replace an inductor with a resistor, so I think it has to do with that. So there is no point on running some more stress tests on this car because no matter what I do, it's gonna do the same. So I'm gonna call this a fix. I'm gonna try replacing that inductor and give you an update through a short video. I think this concludes this series of building a PC from broken parts. I hope you have enjoyed it, and on the channel I have more content like this coming up, fixing graphics cards and PC motherboards. I'm also going to start working on a project for an idea that I had. Right now I'm working on a proof of concept. Once I get that working, I'll be able to show you in a video. So that's going to change the way we communicate in certain games, I mean some physical games, and it can apply to other aspects of life as well. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm gonna call it a mystery project for now. So that was everything for this video. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.